'Tis the season for those irresistible ginger thins, cozy blankets for cuddling by the fire, and making home warm and welcoming. For one-stop holiday shopping, visit your local IKEA or ikea-usa.com/holiday.
Lacuna Health is a call center that goes beyond answering calls. Our highly trained staff handles the clinical needs of patients and extends the care of your practice 24/7. Our experienced RNs offer HIPAA-compliant nurse triage that helps to reduce unnecessary emergency room visits and monitor patient health using your standards and protocols. We answer calls within 30 seconds, and patients have nursing care within 30 minutes. Click Contact Us at lacunahealth.com to see how we can help.
What can you do if you wake up rested? Never wake up hot or tired again with Chili Sleep, powered by innovative app-controlled cooling technology. Visit chilisleep.com/try to fall asleep faster and wake up rested.
Hey, and welcome to the HA podcast. I'm Danny Sheriff, the host of this podcast, the founder of the HA Society, and an HA recovery coach who has walked wherever you currently are. This is the place to come if you care about getting your period regularly. This podcast aims to educate, inform, and keep you motivated on your period and HA recovery track. I would love it if you could rate and review this podcast, 5 stars only, to help make this podcast easier for other women with HA to find it. And last thing, nothing from this show should be taken as medical advice. Please seek the advice of your physician. Hey guys, a happy bonus episode today. I was inspired. I got an email from Angie. Hey Angie. She specifically sent me a topic request that actually really resonated with me. So I'm going to just jam for a sec. She sent me this question, or this topic per se. She said, interesting topic for the podcast. Spending money on my health is a fear for me that has become very apparent to me during my recovery journey. My husband has been in grad school for the last 5 years, and I work at a non-profit, so it's not like we're rolling in money. But the fear seems to be around not feeling like I'm worth the money. I did overcome this somewhat when I took the plunge into working with my nutritionist. Thank goodness she has a sliding scale. I wonder if others have this fear, feeling like they aren't worth the money to invest in themselves, and what they do to banish those thoughts and take the plunge in financially investing in their health and recovery. Perhaps a topic to discuss on the podcast. And I really like this question because I struggle with it too. You know, money and the value that people put on different things is actually so fascinating to me. So, where to begin? I recently went full-time here at the HA Society, and as a result, to go full-time, it also meant it was time to increase my prices to what I needed them to be in order for us to keep doing this work, right? We were charging an amount of money that was, totally fine, specifically because I had another full-time job. But now, in order to be able to do this, I had to raise the price, and that was really hard because I felt like, who am I to do this? All of that kind of imposter syndrome that a lot of us have thought of before. Even though people were saying to me, like, look, you're getting people the results, you know your stuff, this is worth it to people. Like, what is the cost for these women to not have their period? So, or like, what is it worth to these women to get it back? And in that context, you know, for a moment, it always makes sense. It's like, yeah, well, actually what I charge is not a big deal. So for a context, I charge about $256 a month for full support. You get calls with me, you get unlimited email access to me, I do a full review, make a full program for you, right? It's a lot of work. Yet I would struggle to charge for it. And I would also have this fear that there are women who would struggle to be able to afford it. And I get it. But when you do the math, I need to be able to charge this in order to be able to keep showing up and have time to make this podcast and have time to, dedicate to helping people get their period back. So there's like my take on it from that perspective is that it's really hard to justify your worth. So as someone who's looking to invest in getting their period back, isn't it interesting? Let me ask you this. Did you or have you ever spent over $100 on a weight loss product or program? Maybe a gym membership, maybe a weight loss coach, maybe a diet plan. And I bet you it wasn't as big a deal as it was to invest in getting your period back. I bet you it wasn't. I bet you were more excited about it. Here's why. Because investing in getting your period back is like paying for something that you're not super sure you even want, right? When you're investing to lose weight or whatever, you're super sure that you want that. This is different. This is scary. And then what if it doesn't work? There's all these fears on top of it. But I think at the core for a lot of people, it's just that, right? It feels a little bit like investing in something that you don't want, someone to help you gain weight. And in investing in something that you're not excited about, you're like, you're feeling more sometimes of a desperation about. So I understand it, right? But when you sit down and think, okay, well, what am I actually spending money on? And why is this different? So you have no problem with a Netflix or Apple TV or Hulu account being, every month. You have no problem spending $150 to $200 a month on coffee, right? If you're someone who buys like a latte every day, it's getting up there. You spend about that much a month if you buy one almost, like you and your partner. Me and my husband have gone through phases where we've bought a coffee from the coffee shop every day for a month. And then we looked at how much it cost and it was like $200. But we just did that because we value it and because we put worth in that. We spend money on makeup, cleaners. We spend money on, everyone's different, right? Like what else do you spend money on every month? Shivers, even subscriptions that you don't even know you have. Yet when it comes to sitting down and putting your money where your mouth is in terms of your recovery, you get stuck. So interesting. Even if you have the support of your partner, it's tough. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Why? Right? And it's like, what? Okay. So say you want to invest in the HA Society, $25 a month. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Money's tight. I get it. But did you also just easily spend $25 on getting brunch the other day, or $25 on a new shirt or something like that? You easily put value for $25 on those things. But when it comes to like a subscription where you get all of this support and all of these resources to get your period back, it's a scary investment. It's so interesting to me because, and I'm there with you, right? I've been there and done that. And it's so interesting because logically that your fertility and your recovery is so much more valuable than that t-shirt from Target or that brunch that you had the other day. So what is it about investing in yourself and your recovery that is scary compared to other things? Now look, if you're someone who is living paycheck to paycheck, you're not spending money on coffees, you're not spending money on Netflix and shirts from Target and yada yada, then of course it makes sense that you are not in a position to pay for the HA Society or to pay for one-on-one coaching or to pay for a nutritionist or the testing that you need or the practitioner that you want to work with. But if you are spending on all of those other things, then I'm not sure where the feeling that you can't afford to invest in your recovery is actually coming from. So I just encourage you to think about that, because you're absolutely worth it. Do you really need me to tell you that and to explain to you how the value of getting your period back and getting your fertility back is important? Like, how long are you going to DIY your recovery all by yourself, thanks to blog posts and podcasts? How long are you going to do that And are you willing to do that instead of just fast tracking it by getting the help you need? Like, that's the other question. What amount of money do you simply put on your time, right? So say, however much you want to put on your time, if you truly, regardless of what you actually get paid by your job or whatever, maybe you think an hour of my time should totally be worth $100, right? Because it should be minimum, right? You're worth it, regardless of whether other people see you that way. And maybe that's something that you want to strive for. Well, it's time for you to believe now that your time, an hour of your time is worth $100, maybe more. I mean, if you're a doctor, you already know, right? $500. So if it's worth that, then how much money and time are you wasting by doing all this research yourself, right? Hours and hours of reading blogs and stuff, all so that you can save the $25 a month or the $200 a month that it costs to work with me, for example, or even like the $500, $700, $1,000 package with the practitioner you want to work for. How many hours of your time are you using trying to figure this out yourself when you could save hours, weeks, months by investing in getting the right help? So I hope that helps Angie and anyone else listening who has that fear around investing in themselves. And if investing in yourself by way of working with me or Coach Ashley or joining the HA Society or something is what you want to do, just go to thehasociety.com and make the investment. Like, let's do it. Let's make the investment. You are worth it, right? Okay. So that's what I want for you. And I love getting topic requests, y'all. So if you have your own requests or you think that would be a really cool podcast topic that I could cover, feel free to find me on Instagram or email me, Danny@thehasociety.com, and maybe I'll whip one up just for you. Anywho's, thanks guys, and I'll see you all next time. Are you listening to this show hoping to get some golden nuggets to help you on your way to recovery? Well, great. I hope that you find them, because that is exactly what this show is for. But if you really want to take your recovery all the way, completely commit and get on track with your goals, whether they be finally feeling overall healthy, finally getting pregnant, or finally getting back to training, you'll want to join us inside of the HA Society. Not only is this the perfect community to ask questions and get your support and the accountability that you so often need during these uphill battles with body image and understanding nutrition and incorporating exercise, but it's also a hub of exclusive resources for HAs. All of the HA podcast episodes are released in advance and completely ad-free, so you can listen on the go to the raw, unedited versions uninterrupted. All of the one-on-one coaching calls, of which we have 2 a week in different time zones, are uploaded to our private podcast feed so that you can listen to events with practitioners and the past community calls as though they were bonus podcast episodes, because I know how much you love to listen to this kind of stuff. And in these calls, we cover requested topics like overcoming the weight gain fears, communicating with friends and family about our HA, diving into how HA works, and debunking the imposter syndrome that so many of us have around this diagnosis. There's also an entire resources section with lectures, workshops, and training from the past events that are hosted by experts like Sarah Liz King, Laura Lyons, Kaylee McDevitt, Holly Dunn, and many more. As a member, you also get direct access to myself and Coach Ashley in the DMs. So if you have personal questions or need individualized advice about your recovery, we're in there answering your questions in the DMs, as are all of our other members in the group who impress me week after week with how they show up for each other. It's incredible. It's like women are just all becoming mini coaches for each other. It's so good. The HA Society is really the place to be if you're going through recovery, no matter what stage you're at. Whether you have HA or you've got a few recovery periods, we have your back and we're all your new best friends. So come and meet us at thehasociety.com/join. That's thehasociety.com/join, and the link is in the show notes for you. Okay, on with the show. Thank you so much for listening today, guys. Please subscribe to the podcast, and if you could head to iTunes specifically and leave a rating or review, that would help so much because it makes it easier for other people with HA who are Googling around to find the podcast really easily. So if you do that, you're doing a service to all of the women.
Find more ways to Black Friday even earlier at Lowe's. Save $140 on our special Buy GE Colorado Pine Pre-Lit Tree, just $158 compared to $298. Plus, Christmas lights everyday low price starting at $298. Black Friday deals live online Thanksgiving Day. Stores open 6 a.m. Black Friday. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, tree discount taken at time of purchase, valid through 11/24, U.S. only.
'Tis the season for those irresistible ginger thins, cozy blankets for cuddling by the fire, and making home warm and welcoming. For one-stop holiday shopping, visit your local IKEA or ikea-usa.com/holiday.